People generally think that you see with your eyes, but in fact you do not see with your eyes, you see with your brain. Let me explain how that works. As the light rays enter your eye, they move through the transparent portion, front part of your eye called the cornea, and they move through the pupil, the little round area where in the middle of your iris, the colored portion of your eye. And when the light rays pass through the lens of your eye, and the lens of your eye can change shape in order to focus light rays on the back of the eye, the retina. When you're looking at something close, the lens of your eye has to get fat. When you're looking at something far away, 20 feet or further, your lens of your eye gets thin. Now that's in a properly functioning eye. So the light rays pass through the lens of the eye, focused on the back of the eye, the retina. The retina has cells in it. They look like rods and cones. Under a microscope, they look like little tiny rods and little tiny cones. And they are light sensitive. That is, when light strikes the rods and cones, it sets up a chemical reaction in these cells because they're sensitive to light. That chemical reaction then is translated into electrical signals. And these electrical signals are sent through the nerves that emanate from these cells, the retinal cells, and they all gather together in a bundle called the optic nerve at the back of your eye. It's about the size of a number 2 pencil. Both eyes, of course, have the optic nerve that comes back out and goes through the middle of your brain, and they come together and then spread out again and go to the back of your brain and to your visual cortex. That's where you actually see. The visual cortex is the visual center of your brain. The nerve impulses that have been generated by the retinal cells eventually reach the back of your brain, and that's where you interpret those visual signals, and that's how you see. And anywhere along that visual pathway is what it's called, you can have things go wrong. For example, in my situation, my eyes are perfectly fine, but my retinas are destroyed or have deteriorated, we'll say it that way. And so as a consequence, when the light strikes my retinas, the nerve impulses don't start up. The retinal cells are dead. They have deteriorated. They no longer are sensitive to light, so it makes no difference how much light strikes them. They don't produce the chemical reaction, which then is translated into electrical impulses. So at my retina is where the problem lies. Everything else is fine. Now, if the research scientists can fix my retinas, I'll be able to see again. And within maybe 10 years, that's a real possibility that can happen.